an early morning encore for Hartford's new mayor. Next. Welcome to the Stan Simpson Show, a program about Connecticut people and compelling issues. Make it a point to drop in every week. New Hartford Mayor Pedro Segarra has been a busy man, managing major snowstorms, visiting movers and shakers in Washington, D.C., and putting his attention to blight, economics, education, and election in Hartford. Today we ask the new mayor about his relationship with the new governor, his thoughts about a new president's midterm address, and about Segarra's own plans for elected office. In our second segment, we'll talk about the controversy surrounding an angry and wealthy UConn football booster and his efforts to oust Athletic Director Jeff Hathaway, WTIC-AM Scott Gray, Fox Connecticut, Rich Capola are here to give their insight. Then we'll wrap things up with Hartford actress Sherelle Renee. Her solo performance about a woman coming of age blew them away at the Wadsworth. And now it's time for an encore. Sherelle is in studio to tell us all about it, but first, an early morning encore. Hartford Mayor, you were the first in-studio guest for the new Fox Connecticut weekend morning show, and you were a guest for us back in the day, so you're getting used to the studio,
I'm
right?
getting used to the studio. It was a pleasure to be here, and it was an honor to be the first guest on that show.
Well, good to have you here. So listen, no snow questions yet. I want to talk about the president,
yes.
Mr. Obama. I see parallels.
Yes.
New president, new mayor, enormous debt, new governor, enormous debt, job issues.
Yes.
When you watched the address last week, your thoughts on the president's speech and what it means?
It's about inspiring our country, inspiring our state, inspiring our cities to do better by joining together and binding together and try to create a new mood, a desire to create our economy by being more productive, by working together and collaborate to think out of the box and create jobs. That's what it's about.
Collaboration is so key. Why hasn't it happened? What is this is the old Yankee tradition, but why hasn't there been more collaboration with the capital city from suburban towns?
Well, I think collaboration is the sort of thing that people have to be ready for it, and there needs to be a need. And I think that now other towns as well as the city are economically feeling the pinch. We have similar problems now. You know, the economy has affected both Hartford as it has the suburban communities. So the time is right for us to cooperate on issues where we can pull together our resources to facilitate services in a more economical manner.
I want to take a look at the president's part of his speech, get your thoughts, and see what he wants the country to do. President Obama.
We are poised for progress. 2 years after the worst recession most of us have ever known, the stock market has come roaring back. Corporate profits are up. The economy is growing again. But we have never measured progress by these yardsticks alone. We measure progress by the success of our people.
All right, success of the people. So was it inspiring? It seemed like it was a well-done speech. There was sort of some cool response for some sections. Your thoughts on how do you get the country again back to work, getting that collaboration? How do you really create jobs?
Well, it takes getting people around the table that are important for job creation. In my case, I'm trying to get UConn Medical School and the dental school to be where they should have been in the first place, in Hartford. Try to use those as anchors to then have a mix of biomedical, medical equipment manufacturing, green technology, new technologies in the areas of energy production.
What's the hold up there? That's a major proposal, right? Almost $500 million, maybe more. The issue is money, because there's the issue. If you get that thing going, you're going to create jobs. But the problem is getting money to get it going. So how do you make that happen?
Well, you know, our community is one of the most unemployed in the state. If we want to put people back to work, we have to start where the people need jobs. And Hartford is a place where people need jobs. Those enterprises would afford an opportunity for our people to get back to work. They will then have more purchasing power. They will then be able to stimulate economies. So you have to take bold actions in situations where you have an economy as we have. And as the president said, Wall Street was a major disaster, a major failure. And before before those folks from Wall Street come back and finish us off at the city level. We need to make sure that we afford some opportunities for people.
But there's the problem, right? You have a need for jobs. You have a promising proposal with UConn Medical, but yet a $3.5 billion debt for the state, where everyone's trying to tighten their belt. So how, on one hand, do you cut spending and then tell folks, oh, by the way, here's a $500 million proposal to create some jobs? How do you make that work?
Well, the federal administration has already shown a willingness and a commitment to job creation. I would assume that with that comes along some deployment of resources. Most of the resources that were going to go into UConn in their first grant request were federal grants, federal resources. So what we need to do is figure out a way that we can leverage those federal resources with whatever we have already included in the state budget, along with some city resources. I'm willing to put some city resources towards job creation. I'm willing to put some city resources, as limited as they might be, towards enticing companies to come in. We've been doing that. We were able to join a partnership with a small business that's going to come to Hartford, market at 21. It's going to create 60 jobs. We're focusing a lot on the smaller businesses that hire less than 100 people.
You got to spend money to make money, right?
That's most of our businesses. So we'll concentrate on a few big ones, but we'll also concentrate on creating smaller organizations, smaller corporations that can employ people in the city.
Let's talk about your plans personally. When we talked last time we were here a few months back, you said to me after the show that if you thought there was somebody who was up and coming, who was fit to be mayor, that you would step aside gracefully because you really enjoyed your law practice.
Yes.
And I was curious about that because it's rare when someone comes in as an interim that they don't go after the job. It's very intoxicating.
Right.
What changed your mind?
Well, I think first thing that changed my mind were people. Hundreds and hundreds of people that said, we like the job that you're doing. We like your dedication. We like your ideas. We like the fact that you're an inclusive person. And that was a motivator. And when I didn't see that someone that had those skills came along, and I'm actually, to be honest, I'm enjoying the job. I like the opportunity to work 200 hours a week and try to do everything that I can to help a community that I love.
But you enjoyed your practice, too, right? You enjoyed your practice.
I did.
Your law practice.
But this is a way that you can reach a lot more people.
What scares you about this job? This job and other public elected jobs, at some point, people stay in too long, they get arrogant, they get corrupt sometimes. Yes. What scares you? Where is your governor that says, okay, the check and balance where you say, okay, I'm crossing the line here, or I'm not feeling right? When will you know when it's time to kind of step aside?
I don't like the fact that oftentimes I have to meet people that are in it for their own personal benefit and having to fight those folks.
How often is that the case?
It happens very often. For a long time, people were used to using politics as a way of getting personal benefit and as a way of stepping up and using politics as a way to promote themselves.
Been that way for a long time, right? Right?
In my case, it was the opposite. In my case, I sacrificed the law practice and I sacrificed family life and many other things to get involved and try to change things for the city.
So when will you know when you're not having fun, when it's time to get out of there? Is there a time frame you have? Okay, you'll do, if you get elected, you'll do the mayor deal. Is there a time frame where you say, I want to do it for maybe X amount of years, then go back to the practice?
When I'm not being successful, when the public demands that someone else should have an opportunity to do it, at that point, it's up to my people. It's up to the people of Hartford to make those decisions. But I hope that that decision is made at the grassroots level. I hope that that decision is not made by political bosses that dictate upon the people who the mayor is going to be.
Real quick, 10 seconds. Schools chief, new superintendent,
yes.
Stephen Adamowski is leaving.
Yes.
It's a major hire. He's been there for 5 years now. A lot of back and forth. Should the system go inside? Should it go outside? I told people, listen, the name of the game is who does the mayor want? Because the mayor has significant juice now in determining the superintendent. What do you want to do with that job? Internally or go outside and find something?
I want the Board of Ed to do their best job to interview the candidates that are there internally, to make an assessment to see if they feel that those individuals that are applying have what it takes to run the system and continue the efforts of reform. If the board feels that that's not a possibility, then they need to go out and increase the pool of applicants.
In places like New York City, in 5 seconds, the mayor has significant juice, and he pretty much, whoever the mayor wants gets it. You want to defer this to the board, or do you want to be able to have a voice to say, make sure
I want to have a voice, and I should have a voice, and that's my responsibility also. But I want us to do something that continues along the efforts that we've done to build up the system, and I don't want to do anything that puts us back.
Okay. Mayor Segarra, thank you for your time. When we come back, folks, we'll discuss the evolving story about an angry and wealthy UConn football boosters' efforts to oust athletic director Jeff Hathaway. You can catch our show, don't forget, an encore interviews 24/7 at ctnow.com/Stan. Don't go away. Bye.